You're much smarter and wiser than me. So contradicting you feels very wrong. But I hope you welcome the
You're going
spirit.
to do it anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I think like we can look at our history and say, well, we've done this and that wrong. We've done this and that right. I think we have to fight for something. We have to fight
Mm-hmm.
for a real solution because I think it's either we're going to have some kind of development plan, and if we go Trump's way, it's going to be war. We need to be proposed. We all want Gaza to be rebuilt. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't want that to happen. I don't want it to be handed over to the Israelis. I think that that's horrible. And so, what I think should be happening is we should be advocating for our own. What there's a plan that has been endorsed by the Palestinian ambassador to Denmark. His name's Hassasian. I forget his last name. His first name's Hassasian, and he has endorsed the Oasis plan, which is this plan where you take the entire region and you just remodel it over the course of the next 5 to 10 years as an international development effort where the entire world is looking at this region in particular. Oh, wow. He's got the graphic.
Am I good? Am I good? Am I good?
You're really good. Yeah,
I'm good.
exactly. And so, the idea is that, like, look, we need power, we need infrastructure in these places. They need basic housing, they need basic infrastructure at this point because it's all just been demolished. It has to be rebuilt with the people in Gaza and the West Bank with the help of the entire world. We have to bombard it with aid, we have to bombard it with engineers. The Army Corps of Engineers should be able to go in there, or whatever the equivalent of the Army Corps of Engineers are in other countries, coming in and building up temporary housing while permanent housing is built. You can
Well, why don't you describe this a little bit, Jose, what we're looking at, so that
well, the idea is that you have a port. It's kind of self-explanatory, but you have a railway that allows you to go from the West Bank to Gaza, and you can go all around, and you can go around Israel. And well, that's a whole other question about the territory. And you're building canals because part of the problem with Gaza and Israel, by the way, is that both Palestine and Israel, the problem there is that they are both suffering from a dearth of water. They are both underneath the 400 liters or 400 gallons of water a day to be considered a quote unquote developed nation. I think Israel only averages like 220 something per person, in Gaza, of course, even less. So you have to develop that region. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with international guarantees, with all kinds of people that all don't agree on one thing except for we have to rebuild and we have to modernize Gaza so that it has the same fighting chance as any other sovereign nation does, because that's how you have a sovereign state.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say the one thing that was left off that's left off those map are airports. You'll hear these arguments about, the Palestinians walked away from peace plans, and Bill Clinton talks about this a lot, and so does Hillary Clinton, about supposedly the deal that they have brokered and the Palestinians walked away from it, which is complete bullshit. That's a false rendering of that story. One of the issues was, among many, why it was such a bad deal, was that Palestinians had no control of their border. They had no border entry, right? So no one could go into Palestine without it being controlled by the Israelis. So one of the things you need, of course, then is an airport. And so essentially you need an airport in both Gaza and in the West Bank.